All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, we're heading to Orlando, Florida.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it does. But we're not just going to, rehash the typical tour stuff.
Right.
We're going deep using a real couple's audio diary from their trip.
Ooh, I like it. Straight from the source.
Exactly. It's called, get this, What We Did During Our Week-Long Orlando, Florida Adventure.
Catchy.
Right. So this couple is from New Brunswick, Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and they chronicled, everything.
Awesome.
So our mission today is to pull out, those hidden gems, those unexpected tips, maybe even some things to avoid.
I'm ready.
Okay, so right off the bat, they had to change their initial flight.
Oh.
Yeah, they were worried about their layover time in Toronto.
Right.
Not enough time to get through customs and to their connecting flight.
Oh, yeah. That's always a stress, especially in big airports. Always good to double-check visa requirements, too, if you're flying internationally.
Yeah, for sure. It's those little details that can
Yeah.
really trip you up. And speaking of little details,
Right.
they had this funny story about their departure airport.
Okay.
There wasn't even a coffee shop before security.
Oh, no. The worst. I remember this one time I was flying out of, this really small airport in Scotland,
Yeah.
and the only food option was this, sad vending machine with questionable sandwiches.
Oh, yikes.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to pack some snacks or do a quick search online,
Totally.
especially if you have, dietary restrictions.
Or you just really need your coffee in the morning.
Exactly. So they survived the coffeeless airport, made it to their layover in Montreal.
Okay.
But even that wasn't exactly smooth sailing. They had a little run-in with a less-than-friendly waitress.
Oh, come on. Who hasn't had that happen at some point?
Right.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They're like a universal travel experience almost.
Oh, really is. But hey, let's get them to Orlando.
Okay, they finally land late at night. They grab their rental car and head to the hotel. And they made a really good point about having your accommodation booked in advance, especially for late arrivals.
Makes total sense. The last thing you want after a long flight is to be, driving around a strange city at midnight searching for a hotel.
Right. And, it can actually save you money. Those last-minute bookings can be way more expensive.
True. Good call.
Okay, so they get to Orlando, settled in, and they wake up ready to experience all the magic.
Okay.
But it actually turned into this, unexpected shopping day.
Oh.
Yeah. They discovered the outlet malls.
Oh, nice. Which ones?
They went to the Orlando International Premium Outlets and the Vineland Premium Outlets. If you're into designer brands, but, on a budget, those are the places to hit.
Outlet malls are the best for that. You find some great deals. But for those of us who aren't as into the whole shopping scene,
Yeah.
what else did they suggest for a rainy day?
Oh, they had some good ideas. Wonderworks, Ripley's, believe it or not. Or even catching a movie, one of those dine-in theaters. I love those. It's like a 2-for-1, dinner and a movie.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
But you know what else is super cool in Orlando for a rainy day?
What?
The Orlando Science Center.
Oh, yeah. I went there with my niece and nephew last time I was in town, and it was amazing.
It's super interactive, right? Perfect for, families or anyone who's, curious about science-y stuff.
Totally. See, this is why I love deep dives. You always discover those hidden gems.
Totally agree. So after all that, maybe a little retail therapy, our travelers opted for a relaxing evening by the pool at their hotel.
I mean, that sounds like the perfect ending to a long day of travel and, dealing with the unexpected.
Yeah, a good night's sleep was definitely in order. It's so important to pace yourself on vacation, even amidst all the excitement around.
It really is. Recharging your batteries ensures you can fully enjoy all the adventures to come. I'm a big believer in scheduling some downtime, even if it's just an hour or two each day.
Totally. Okay, so our Canadian couple is rested up, ready for a full day's Orlando fun, and they're kicking things off with a visit to Disney Springs.
Ooh, Disney Springs. That's such a good spot, even if you're not planning to go to, the actual theme parks.
Right.
It's totally free to enter, and you can easily spend hours there just checking out the shops, restaurants, the entertainment.
It's like a mini vacation within the vacation.
It really is. Did they happen to mention Gideon's Bakehouse?
Oh, yeah, they snag some of those famous cookies. Have you ever tried those?
Oh my gosh, they're legendary. Okay, so I have this friend who is obsessed with those cookies. And she says the key is to get there early, really early, because the line can get insane, especially on the weekends. But she swears they're worth the wait.
Wow. Okay, now I have to try them.
Oh, you definitely do.
Okay, so after their sugar rush at Disney Springs, they went on a fan boat ride through the Everglades.
Oh, fun. That sounds so cool. A different side of Florida, beyond the whole theme park scene.
Yeah, totally. And it sounds like they had a pretty exciting experience.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
So get this. Right before the ride, their captain actually fell off the dock and needed medical attention.
Oh, no. Is he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. But talk about a story to tell, right?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show you never know what's going to happen when you're traveling. Always be prepared for the unexpected.
so true. And that the tour operators are, super experienced with the area. It's always a good idea to do a little research beforehand, choose a company with a solid safety record.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're prone to motion sickness, maybe take some Dramamine or something before hopping on a fan boat.
Oh, good tip. Those things can go pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so after the fan boat adventure, it was time for the main event a day at Hollywood Studios.
Classic.
Right. They hit all the iconic rides like Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror, Slinky Dog Dash, the whole shebang.
Nice. I mean, those are some of the best rides. Did they have any tips for, like, navigating the crowds and the wait times?
They did. They actually recommended using Genie Plus. It's a service that lets you reserve ride times in advance so you can, like, skip a lot of the standing around in line.
Genie Plus, I've heard of that. Does it cost extra?
Yeah, it does. But they said it was worth it, especially if you're short on time and want to maximize your day. They also said that, if you're traveling with someone and you don't mind splitting up for a ride, keep an eye out for the single rider lines.
Oh, yeah, the single rider line. You can often bypass a lot of the queue that way.
Exactly. Another thing that I found super helpful at Disney is the My Disney Experience app.
Oh, yeah. That app is a lifesaver.
It has everything, wait times, park maps, show schedules. You can even order food on it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But of course, theme parks aren't everyone's cup of tea. Our couple totally gets that, and they actually had some great suggestions for things to do in Orlando if, you're not that into rides. They mentioned the Kennedy Space Center, Gatorland, even a day trip to Clearwater Beach.
I love those ideas. It's so important to remember that Orlando has so much more to offer beyond just the theme parks.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
When I was researching for this deep dive, I came across this place called Wekiwa Springs State Park.
I've never heard that.
It's about 30 minutes outside of Orlando, and it looks amazing. You can go swimming, kayaking, hiking, even camping. It's like this beautiful natural oasis, a total escape from the hustle and bustle.
That sounds so peaceful. Definitely adding that to my list.
For sure. Okay, so after their jam-packed day at Hollywood Studios, our couple wisely opted for a rest day back at the hotel.
Good for them. It's so tempting to go on vacation, but those rest days are so important.
I know, and I think it makes you appreciate the more exciting days even more.
Totally. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking for some ways to relax and recharge in Orlando, they suggested checking out a resort spa or maybe taking a scenic boat tour in Winter Park. Or if you're feeling beachy, they said Cocoa Beach is the place to be.
I love Cocoa Beach. It's actually known for its surfing, right?
Yeah.
If you've ever wanted to try, catching a wave, Cocoa Beach is a great spot to do it. There are tons of surf schools and rental shops right there on the beach.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's something I need to add to my list.
Definitely.
Okay, so our couple is rested, recharged, and they're ready for their final full day in Florida.
I guess more theme parks.
Nope. They decided to switch gears completely and headed to Daytona Bike Week.
Wow, what a change of pace.
Right. They rented a Polaris slingshot. Have you seen those?
Yeah, the three-wheeled things.
Yeah, exactly. And they drove from Orlando to Daytona. They said the drive itself was amazing. And then once they got to Daytona, it was just this whole other world of motorcycles, vendors, live music.
Daytona Bike Week is legendary. It's like a massive gathering of motorcycle enthusiasts from all over.
Yeah, they said the energy was just electric. Motorcycles everywhere you look, food stalls, that whole sense of camaraderie among the bikers. It sounded kind of overwhelming, but in a good way.
I bet.
They spent the day exploring the event, checking out the Indian motorcycle dealership, meeting up with a friend, even visited the Daytona International Speedway.
Ooh, the Speedway. That must have been cool. I went to a NASCAR race there a few years ago. It was insane. The roar of those engines, the speed of the cars, just the whole atmosphere is so intense.
Wow, that sounds incredible.
It was.
They had a blast at Bike Week, but they also pointed out that Daytona Beach itself is worth a visit, even if you're not into motorcycles.
Right.
The historic boardwalk, the beautiful coastline, it's a destination in its own right.
Totally agree. I mean, they don't call it the world's most famous beach for nothing.
That's true. But they did say, if you're planning a trip to Daytona Beach and it's not during Bike Week, just be aware that the vibe will be totally different.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like two completely different experiences.
Exactly. All right, we're back. Final part of our Orlando adventure. We've covered a lot of ground with this couple. Airport craziness, rainy days, theme park thrills, even a little taste of biker culture. Makes me want to book a trip right now.
Me too. It wasn't like a picture-perfect Instagram vacation. It felt real, like stuff happened, they had to adjust. It makes it way more relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that whole flight change thing? And that tiny airport with no coffee? Even that grumpy waitress? It's like,
Yeah.
stuff happens, you know? It's all part of the travel experience.
And that's actually a great takeaway. Flexibility is key, right? Things rarely go exactly as planned when you're traveling.
So true. Embrace those unexpected moments. Sometimes those become the best stories.
Totally. And they did a good job of mixing things up, too. I mean, they hit the big attractions, the Disney parks, but they also explored the Everglades, did the Daytona Bike Week thing, and they took time to chill, too.
It's all about figuring out what you want out of your trip, right? If you're a theme park fanatic, awesome. Go all out. But if you're more into nature or like trying different foods or whatever, you can tailor your trip to that.
Exactly. Orlando has something for everyone, and sometimes those unexpected discoveries end up being the most memorable.
I totally agree. It's that balance of planning and just like going with the flow that makes a trip special.
For sure. And hey, those tips about Genie Plus and the single rider lines, genius.
I know, right? Time
Yeah.
savers. And don't forget the My Disney Experience app. It's like your personal guide in your pocket.
So helpful. Technology can really level up your travel experience. It's kind of cool too, listening to someone's audio diary like this. It gives you such an honest, unfiltered perspective.
Yeah. It's like having a virtual travel buddy. They show you the good, the bad, the funny moments. It makes you realize travel is about so much more than just checking off a list of things to see.
It really is. So, as we wrap up this Orlando adventure, I'd say let this couple's experience inspire you to plan your own trip. But don't try to copy them exactly. Think about what excites you about Orlando, what you want to discover. Do your research, but be open to spontaneity.
Love that. And remember, it's okay if things don't go perfectly. Embrace the unexpected, have fun, make some memories, and until our next deep dive adventure, keep exploring.